Hey there, everyone. Chris here. Wanted to jump on with you for a little bit of an update. 1 second here while I get my bearings, get my streams up so I can take a look at everything. And if you have a comment, feel free to jump on and ask me some questions. Let me know what you want to know, and we'll chat just a little bit. I am streaming on YouTube and also Facebook Live here for tonight. We have severe storms in northern Iowa. That's a good place for the radar to stop, but I need to find the right tile for me to use. Thanks so much for joining me, and let's chat just a little bit. So from my observations, we're going to watch the western edge of this line here tonight. And that's where we're going to find the most robust storms. We have, and I think you can probably see it pretty well here, the outflow boundary kind of running out ahead of this line further to the east. And so that kind of eats away at the ability for the storm to catch the best warm air, the updraft, if you will. And these storms become elevated. Could they still have some hail in them? Yes, but the likelihood of it being severe, pretty low right now as you move out, say, towards Iowa Falls and the Grundy Center area. These two storms coming in, or I should say the line, they're fairly impressive, but they have been very pulse-like. Like, I'm not seeing the hail core sustain themselves for very long, but they're certainly building up. These storms are robust, but they just are not sustained. So it builds and then falls, builds and then falls. You can see that these two warnings have kind of swapped places that we've been looking at. So building a little bit further to the west, and kind of a credence to that mindset I was just telling you about, that so Fort Dodge, Webster City could be getting in on some 1-inch hail. I am not convinced right now this cell has severe hail over portions. The ground. That would be my concern with this one. Hail more so lining up for Fort Dodge, basically just north about Highway 169. That'd be about 3 or 4 miles north of town, or about 5-6 north of Highway 20. 40 miles per hour the wind gust in Williams out of the storm. Looks like Clarion had 54. So yeah, there was the wind signal, and it was present then as well. Give me 1 second, I'll show you the wind. It was present as well when it was back over the Clarion area. You can kind of see that here. Okay. And it still looks like we have some decent breezes, and probably into eastern Webster as well, I would say right now. Hail, I think, is probably the biggest troublemaker that we're going to see here for tonight. I don't think wind occurs on the widespread level. So take a look at the eastern side of that line, where the outflow is dominating, and you just don't see the sustained hail cores with it. Is there a little bit over Grundy County? Yeah, probably. But these two are definitely where it's at. Let me go to hail here. Looks like that best hail is trying to line up over Fort Dodge right now. 1.3 in the warning, I believe. The warning, I believe, is warned for 1.25. So that's right. That's appropriate. That's the best hail core I'm seeing at the moment as I'm looking at my radar product off screen. I want to show you the tracks of this, though. And feel free to jump in with a comment if you want to know anything. I am streaming again on YouTube. You can give me a follow there at Chris Kubal WX, or on Facebook, Chris Kubal Meteorologist. Jump on the comments section and let me know what you want to know. I'm just taking a look at the radar here. I do believe we've been kind of overestimating on the hail size a little bit on our in-house data, just a little bit. If we would have had what this is going to say is 3 inches of hail near Humboldt, we would have heard about it by now. And that is something, frankly, I'm just not. So let me get into the National Weather Service chat. Give me 1 second. I have it open on my other computer. I just don't have it open on my laptop. Okay. So there. To the web browser. Okay, I want to show you here the deep shear. We just most one. Oh no, is the sound not working? I hope it is. Oh no, it's working. I'm not sure what's up, AJ, but I have sound on my stream. I double checked that. I'm actually using kind of a microphone that's a little iffy tonight for this. It needs repaired, but we don't quite have the parts to do that. We actually have to send it off, so I'm kind of limping by with it. So it's actually sitting off to the side, so I don't touch it at all and make that bad. But I do have sound on my end. I'm sorry, AJ. It may be cutting in and out. I hope not. I'm not touching it, so fingers crossed, right? David, thank you for the compliment. Still here to help everyone out, even up into Minnesota. I was kind of jumping all about that. I was jumping all over that. yesterday when there was some hail that was certainly popping up. Okay, so I also had on my YouTube stream someone tell me that the audio isn't quite working, so it may be out. I apologize for that. I'm working through, a limitation that I have here for tonight. In order to be able to run it through this software, I have to be on a studio mic, and I can't just go live with my phone and do that. So I'm trying to get you the best product possible, be polished, and show you what's up. So these two warnings continue to drift southwards. These storms are not fast moving. 15 miles per hour is all. So they are slow movers. No, I did not want the calculator to pop up. Okay, so 15 miles per hour. The area of concern with that one is basically over Webster City right now. Times of arrival you see on your screen: Webster City at 8:50, Camera 9:17, Stanhope at 9:40. And then we'll go just a little bit further south, over Fort Dodge right now. That's where the other area of concern is. So this would be Colville, 9 o'clock, Evanston at 9:09, Lehigh at 9:27. I think the spot of hail at this point looks most pronounced mainly over Fort Dodge. So that's where we're looking at right now. These two storms, again, that west edge is primarily, my thought process on that has been behind this outflow boundary that you kind of see right here, dipping to the south. It kind of starves these storms, if you will, from the warm and moist air. So watching the west end of the line, but there's certainly a new little segment of outflow getting going here. Still, I think that west edge is probably going to be the place to watch here for the most robust storm going forward. Thanks, Heather. I appreciate that. Let me know if you see anything gnarly, if you've seen any hail, or you are. I think this storm is pretty much right over you right now. Yeah. Please be safe, but of course, if you want to jump in on the action, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what's going on. You can also text us any pictures, videos, 515-457-1026. 515-457-1026. That also works. Thanks, Heather. Okay, just checking in on the stream. Angela asked, YouTube's storms are moving east, and no, they are moving basically due south-southeast at this point. Let me go ahead and loop this over the last hour. There you get that sense. And I think there was some quarter-sized hail, if I'm not mistaken, up by Denver earlier with a sellout by Waterloo. Yep. And that was some quarter-sized hail. Okay. Didn't see any hail, but there was some wind and rain. Thanks, Heather. Let's check in on the wind component. See if there's anything interesting happening. It's a lot of data on this graphic, so it takes a little while to update. Grundy Center, 28. Iowa Falls, 25. Williams, 40. Previously, Clarion was 54. And I don't have anything significant for Fort Dodge just yet. I did have someone ask me about the rain, what we've seen so far, and I just want to jump on it quick just to see. Someone was asking about rain. I've seen anywhere from 1/2 of an inch to 2 inches in spots. Not enough for flooding. 43 100ths in Clarion. So there is some heavy rain out there. We're just not sticking with these storms for super long. So that's a limiting factor to the ultra big totals out of this. Also, one thing we're watching out here into Omaha area, we got some thunderstorms trying to get going out there. I think the supercells look a little bit more prominent or possible out that way as well. This activity will come in well after midnight into central Iowa. Those of you in southeast Iowa probably not going to see much of anything until close to daybreak tomorrow. Hate to break it to you. But these are very slow movers incoming from the north. I can loop it over the last 3 hours and you see what it's done. 60 miles or so south. Lately, there's been a surge forward with this activity coming out of Hamilton. That'll be interesting to see how that's handled. I think we'll probably have to wait and see if there's any ground truth to it. But yeah, there's some stronger wind in the elevated layers there over Jewell to Webster City and Williams, pushing southwards towards Troy City. So Ames, yeah, it's incoming. Outflow dominant here with that cell coming in out of Webster County. No longer a hail producer. In fact, I don't think there's any hail with that warning any longer at this point. Yeah, you do see a little bit of pink there, but I don't believe that's checking in at the upper levels. Why don't we go ahead and check? I can do that for you. Okay, I do need to change the look. Give me 1 second while I do that. Okay. I want to see the hail core. Let me see if I can get a little bit more. Nope. All right, we'll go back to the red. Notice how low that is, though, kind of on that western side of Webster County. Or not Webster, I'm sorry, Hamilton County. It's low, it's not high up. This is higher up, it's colder higher up, so we're looking at greater hail potential there out of Fort Dodge. So you can't just go by the color that's being represented on the radar picture. It doesn't work that way. Let me clear off the screen. You have to look and see where storms are kind of in the upper levels too. And right now, kind of east of Fort Dodge, that's where core higher up in the sky. Yeah. Chatting about this. I wish I had better views outside. Let's see. Let me get the downtown can up. Look downtown. There's your lightning show for you. It's looking pretty good up there. It's been very vivid. Hey, Casey Center here has a giant square on the top. They painted Casey's logo on top. It looks like a giant pizza box. I think that's hilarious. Something I noticed today when I was looking up at storms way up there. All right, we have a 60 mile per hour wind gust coming in northwest. Severe storm is more wind driven at this point, and we kind of came to the realization of that. It's outflow dominant in that area. zoom in. We'll see what prompted that. And as the wind pops up, don't have anything in that area. Okay. But you can very clearly see the outflow here. One second, I'm going to text someone in Ames. So this one, let's see. If that's dipping, yeah, that might catch the east side of the metro, that surge forward. And it's very pronounced now, too. Doesn't quite have the rear signatures I'd be looking for. On the best scale, if we're looking right here, maybe a bit of a rear inflow, so that'd be driving it straight southwards. And it's got to be going a little bit faster. I'm going to put it at 30. I think this segment is dipping further south a little bit faster. So there's times of arrival here. Story City about 9 o'clock, Gilbert 9:11, Ames at 9:21, Colo 9:30, 9:40, Maxwell Huxley 9:42, 9:57, so close to 10 o'clock. Oh, darn it. Sorry, folks. Keep shouting out when you lose the audio. I am so sorry. Yeah, I apologize. It's what I got to do, though. Deal with me. I'm sorry. Okay, just checking in on some of the comments in the National Weather Service. Okay. So there is no watch right now. That might change. I think we're just kind of playing the wait and see game and just see how this tail end of this line is going to go. We do have kind of a change in the warnings now. Just the one until 9:15 for Webster County, essentially Calhoun, a sliver of it included. But yeah, that part of it's not going to be experiencing this storm. So, hail, let's check it out, see what's going on. Decent little return here, south and east of town, near Otho, 1.7. Radar product, honestly, has been overestimating tonight. Yeah, I'm getting a 1.7 on my radar system just off screen. It looks fairly broad. I'm not seeing the deep dark blues on CC. There's a strong convergence signal, strong updraft. And let me go to storm relative. That'll show it better. So here the updraft, kind of seeing the greens run away and the reds come towards. And you see how they're kind of pushing together on this lesser component there. But that's where you have that updraft, and as I transition to the hail, you'll see that's generally where the hail is. Now, the next update, you'll see it kind of slide down south. This hail size parameter, typically is delayed in getting into our system by about 5 minutes. But if I go future hail and let this data load, you're going to see that it extends south and east towards the Lehigh area. There we go. So that matches up nicely. New warning. Yeah, that's for some wind. Not so much hail. I don't think there's much hail with this one. But we were just talking about the wind with, yeah, no hail there. But you can always see a pulse upwards. That's why it's included on the warning. So we'll watch for some stronger wind here. Haven't heard anything specifically other than the far northwestern part of Webster County. 60 miles per hour. That was at 8:30. So it's been 30 minutes. Okay. Wind with that Boeing segment. Why don't I go ahead and push just a little bit of a still update onto social media on all platforms. Let's see how fast this is moving first. Get a better sense. South at 30. Turns out I guessed pretty darn well. Okay, reposition. And move that. And I'm sorry I can't talk and type at the same time, so I'm going to go silent. I'm trying, friends. I'm sorry. I have just a really bad microphone, and it's the only one that can be used in this application. So bear with me. I apologize. So storms drifting south, wind with the cell riding down 35. And then I think there's hail with that cell over Webster County at the moment. Okay. I appreciate you joining me on the broadcast tonight. I'm just checking in on the social media just to see if there's any pictures or anything to show you. And I'm not seeing anything jumping off the page at me. Again, if you have anything, I'd love to see it. I just want you to be safe, so I don't want you running outside, you know, when there's a significant wind blowing around out there. Okay, unfortunately, there's just not a lot happening in that area. I'm going to whip up some webcams down 35, I think. Let me see what I can get here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. 1 second. So this is going to be I-35 at 300th. This is going to be in Hamilton County. Come on, reload. It was just working. Of course, it's going to be shy now. Yeah, this is up in Hamilton County. I don't see anything obvious for sheets of rain. A lot of the times you see people driving with flashers if it's super heavy. Let's go down here near Ellsworth, see what we have. So this is I-35 as it passes over Highway 175. You got the Love Station there, top left. Looks like some heavy rain. Let's go to... That's the rest area there. I probably don't want to show that because it is just stills. This is north of Ames just a little bit. And you can see the lightning flicker definitely at the top of the screen. Emergency vehicles, you see. Brake lights. Not sure what's happening up there. Huh. Okay, well, this one's dipping in from the north with some strong winds. Okay, we'll come back to the radar. Not really showing too much right now, but the signal is definitely there elevated. Yeah, it's measuring pretty good too. Let's go ahead and put it on it. Story City, 57 miles per hour. Keep in mind this is all elevated. Take that minus sign off too. This is in absolute values. So can it rush down to the surface, right? So the bulk of the storm is behind the outflow, but it's close enough in proximity to where it's still being fed pretty good. It's blowing out there pretty good. Nice little gust. And it just got into Ames there with the outflow. Boone as well. But the bulk of the storm is out there. To the north. Heather, yes, we are going to be done after this line. This isn't anything that's going to be backwards in a significant fashion. So that's a good thing at least. If you are, just popping on, this isn't widespread severe weather. This is going to be more localized across the state of Iowa. There will be more activity that builds in from the west here tonight. By the time this stuff gets here, it's going to be weaker. It's really blossomed upward, though, on the outflow from that one initial storm near Wahoo and Fremont. That's worth watching overnight, but overnight our atmosphere should be stabilizing a bit too. You add in the fact that this activity is going to be pushing southwards, it will work over the atmosphere. So that would leave, western Iowa the best chance to be impacted by those supercells out there to the west. Okay, and remember I was kind of talking about, I think the hail is overestimating size a bit. Turns out that's probably the case. We just got a report from Colville in which it had this nice little blossom on it, estimating almost 2 inches. Got a report of penny-sized hail out of Colville. So we're probably overestimating the hail size tonight in the weather system. And even then, it's trended down towards Lehigh right now. This is saying 1.4, but based on what we've been seeing, it's been less, so maybe half that, and that's what we're currently sitting at. All right. See if I can play this video again. One second, I'm going to try to find some video out of the Ames area. Okay. I'll bring you on with me while I do this. It's more fun to watch, right? Okay. Wanted to see something with trees. I'm told the outflow was hitting fairly strong. I mean, those trees are swaying, but I'd be looking for the tops to, push down on top of each other. That's when you start looking at severe winds. So this, that's swaying in the breeze. That's not the most significant. Heavy rain there hitting the rest area in Story City, or south of Story City, I should say. Let's see, is this one a camera or not? Nope, or a video cam, I mean. Okay, so this one, 1/90th, should start to be getting in there. Yeah, Heather, there's a lot that goes into that. Yeah, that's why, I use the CC as well to help determine what the hail is looking like. There are a lot of different things you can look at within, and that's why human analysis is very important for tonight. There's a decent shake here on this camera. Looks like it's just now starting to get into the worst of it. Just north of Ames. So I'm going to keep this up. It still looks like a dry roadway, more or less. People going a swift speed. I like watching outside. More or less, my thoughts haven't really changed too much on this, other than we're starting to become more wind dominant. I think the hail side of things is looking lower and really confined to that westernmost storm on this line, and that will continue to pulse up and down. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. Let me know how the trees are reacting, if they're just swaying. When the tops start getting pushed down violently up and down, that's when I start thinking that's closer to 60 miles per hour. Of course, be safe. Always want you to be safe here. Of course, we have Monday Night Football on tonight, and, you know, that's tough programming to have to break into. So that's why I'm doing a lot of the streaming here for us tonight. Let me get back. Every time I come off this, it struggles. I have to wait and see these next vehicles coming in. So 2 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Hamilton, Hardin, Story County until 9:45, and then we're in Webster and Boone County until 9:45 as well. 2 separate storms, some different dynamic to be had in there as well. Looks like that truck going by with flashers on. You know, that's usually an indication when something's getting real, right? We've all done it, right? We've slowed down, put the flashers on, just because it's hard to see. A lot of times in the winter, too, obviously. So I do think there's wind. I think 60 miles per hour looks appropriate. .32 on that outflow in Boone. Those are some good sheets of rain going by there. Yeah. I'm watching those cars incoming because that's north, so you'd have that wind running from north to south. And they're going a little bit faster than the sheets, but something strong enough, you know it's legit. Okay, let me get here. Play this video. I'll have to watch this one, I think. This one's a good light. Let me see. I want something with good light, but yet I can see trees too. Here, should we watch the quads? That's a pretty cool shot, actually. Watch 4 of them at once. It's not quite 2 Ames yet, but it is coming. That's getting too far south. I don't want to do that. We'll just play this one. I think it's the best lit one for right now. 34 miles per hour in Hubbard. That is technically included, just excluded from the warning, but still close enough. You'd be looking at that as an area of concern to watch. Hail cores aren't too impressive right now. Still a little bit back towards Lehigh and Webster County. Definitely want to watch this one come in, though. There's some great illumination of the underside of these storms there. All right. We have pea-sized hail in Roland. 30-mile-an-hour wind in Roland. Largest hail is currently east of McCallsburg to Zeering. And if there is going to be some hail in there, that's where it'd be. Right here. So, hail cores possible in here, but I think the strongest one is still up here into Webster County. Maybe starting to get into western Hamilton again as well. My apologies. I just realized you couldn't see that, could you? I don't have that option built right now either. Quick radar check, and we'll go back to that. So you see those storms, they're dipping south. I think the worst of the wind is trying to line up maybe east of I-35. 34 in Hubbard, 32 in Boone for those latest wind gusts coming in. Okay, let me get back here and I'll line these cams back up for you again. Maybe let's check a little bit further to the east. Okay, not hitting there yet. Got to be getting close to the 13th Street area on I-35. Yeah, rain's just starting to get there. We'll just go back to where we were. Line that one up. So it's incoming. Let me look at the hail situation here off screen. We get a sense here. Yeah, it's all trending down in the hail department as things become more downdrafty. Thinking wind is starting to take over as the dominant choice here, the storms, especially as we get a little bit more vigor, some push in from the backside with these storms. Okay, just going to check in on the comments. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Grant, I appreciate that. Yeah, about 30, 35 miles per hour with that gust front coming into Ames. It's coming. You can see that sheet off in the distance. Like it just turns fuzzy. There's some strong wind hinted at overhead. With the gust front, likely a wicked shelf incoming too. Come on! Okay, I'm just going through the scenes here, the National Weather Service chat. Any reports? I'm glad the microphone has been at least a little bit better here as of recent. My apologies for that. Not quite to Lincoln Way just yet. Let's go to 13th Street. Doesn't look like it's quite there yet in the worst either. Go over to Nevada, that's kind of black and white. Not quite to any of these, but we're oh so close. I think Nevada is probably the closest at this point. Well, I hope you're doing well. Let me know what you're doing here on this Monday evening besides watching the storm. And good question about the hail in North Ames. No, nothing immediately upstream from the north side of campus. So I think you're fine. at this point, and the hail components have been trending downwards. I still think there's one decent hail core over eastern Webster County, but I don't think that's in line with Ames at the moment. Nope. Stop that. I'm going to pull the quad cam back up here. A lot of lightning. Getting some shake on this camera at Lincoln Way now. Okay, so that strongest wind is getting into Ames. You can see that shake happening. Let's go up one more to 13th. I don't see much shake there. It's dark in this area as well. Just to the east of 35, near the church. Good vivid show out there, that's for sure. Yeah, we already said that one isn't the best one to look at. I have 41 at Iowa State University for the wind. Be interesting to see how Ames Municipal reacts to it. Get going, cars. Did we get a new warning out? I'm hearing some tones from the booth. Nope, not just yet. Still the same warnings. Yeah, I think you're good, Ann. I wouldn't worry about that too much. There is a lot of outflow racing out ahead of this storm to the south. I have a hunch. The way things are looking, the cells being more pronounced now as far as wind, I have a hunch we'll continue to see this concern dive south, especially eastern half of Des Moines. Will be included on the next warning should there be one issued. That's the trajectory I think it's going. Get over here to Nevada and see. Well, that's a high quality cam, isn't it? If only it'll play. Come on. Well, I can't stay on forever here, folks. I do have the show to get ready for, which is in a half of an hour now. There's that camera. It's loaded. This is near Nevada. On the east side, looks like that rain is just starting to get there. I'll leave this one up. That's a good looking camera. You can see the trees in there as well. A little bit of shake. A little bit of shake on that camera. Yeah, that rain's just hitting now, the heavy stuff. So watch the trees. Car's taking it slow. You can see the sheets of rain too coming through. Good camera that we found here. I wish I would have gone one more a little bit sooner, but we got this one. Yeah, it's blowing in pretty good. Latest wind gusts I'm seeing, New Providence, gusting to 35 miles per hour, 41 at the Iowa State University Research Farm, 27 on the north side Ames, 32 in Boone. That's a little bit of a dated report. You can see those sheets going across the highway here. A little bit more vigor in the wind now. A little bit more bounce in the camera. I always like showing a look outside. I have the radar up here too, and I'll let you know if there's, anything significantly of concern. But I wish you could just have like that magical drone that could instantly fly to where you want it to get that best image. Oh no, it looks like this one crapped out. Come on. I like that video though. High quality. DOT's been putting up some high quality cams. 44 at Ames Municipal. That's the latest wind gusts there, 44 miles per hour. 35 in New Providence, and also 41 at the Iowa State Research Farm. Boy, that's a deluge of rain, isn't it? So as I'm looking at the sheets, right? But I'm also looking at kind of the visibility component. Is just like a blizzard. If you get the strong wind with heavy rain in there, it's going to tank the visibility. Also looking at the trees here, and I'm not seeing that flattening, which often I'm looking for as far as the severe criteria. I'm just not seeing, especially this one right here, which has good lighting behind it. And you notice that the peak on it just isn't pushing down much at all. It's a great camera, though. I'll have to remember that one there to check out again in the future. I'm going to go back over here to Ames and see how we're doing. Boy, that I don't think that heavy rain is there yet. I don't think it is. Let's go over closer to the airport. See what we got here. This looks like to be another decently optioned out camera. 45 miles per hour at the Iowa State University Research Farm. That's on the south side, very close to Highway 30, Mortenson, if I'm not mistaken. We're on the Mortenson and State area. Okay, that camera's being buggy on me, so let's go to the next one. Trees here. Looking for them violently pushing down. Not really seeing that here, but again, we're a little bit further to the east. Oops, it's the exact same one. This is University at Highway 30, so we're kind of looking to the southwest here. Back to Highway 30 at I-35. This so far has been my favorite camera to take a look at. Highway 30 on the southeast side of Nevada, 19th Street. Candace, nothing severe for Grundy County right now. Nothing imminent is what I mean as far as thunderstorms. I think you're in good shape. Come on, load that video. Still some pretty good sheets of rain coming through. I will really want this camera to load again if it will. There it goes. And there's a certain element of shake on the camera too, if that starts getting a little bit more wild. You know, things are getting a little bit crazier there as well. Yeah, Grant, there's, that secondary area to the north and west. I've been seeing that here on radar. Fort Dodge didn't have significant wind materialize out of it. And definitely the wind signature is more pronounced with this Ames storm or in Nevada storm currently. But yeah, there is certainly a little bit of a bow there coming in. Let me go back to the radar picture. I'll show you what I'm talking about. On the back end, this west edge, it's bowing out, so there's Gowrie for you. I just went through Gowrie actually yesterday. And so there is a little bit of a bowing segment there. I'll transition over to the velocity signals, storm relative. And you see it is certainly, it's peaking a lot more out of this northeastern Iowa. And I'm on storm relative because that takes into account the storm motions, right? Sometimes you get it running down the radial. You just see the best returns are showing up here. Eastern Boone getting down into the Story County area. I think a lot of this is starting to stay up into the clouds just a little bit. Maybe not completely, mind you. I mean, it's still going to be some gusty wind, but I'm eyeing those big-time wind gusts. So I've been reading these along with you. Ames 45, that's at the research farm. 44, Ames there, that's the airport. Positioning isn't the best on that, but that's the one it is there. New Providence 35. And previously Hubbard was 34. 30 now in Boone. That's a recent update. So we'll be getting down to Ankeny Regional here any moment. I think hail core is now sub-severe. I don't like it. Strongest wind is definitely over by Nevada now. And that's just me looking at kind of the bowing line that is out there at the moment, and it's closest to the outflow boundary. So better chance here for surging upwards into the storm. The back end is starting to get a little bit displaced from that outflow. Still watching that camera there over in Nevada. Let's see, we have a couple getting closer to let me get over here for you. So this is US Highway 30 at S27. This camera a couple springs ago caught a tornado going across it. Not going to see that tonight. But this would be solidly in that storm right now that is overhead. Okay. Well, friends, I'm going to go back to the loop. I do need to show prep just a little bit here. We have Monday Night Football on, And that game has about 9 minutes left. So I'll have updates after this goes on. These 2 severe thunderstorm warnings run until 9:45. Actually, I'll wait 3 more minutes and see how this is going to progress. See if they're going to reissue. I'm on the fence if they will. I mean, I haven't seen any reports coming in, both wind or hail recently. So we'll see. Of course, we don't always warn on, reactionary type stuff. We try to be out ahead of it, but if you're not getting the ground truth, it's tough to continue to be warning things. So unless there's information out there the Weather Service has, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point. So I'll stick with you a couple more minutes until these warnings do go. Just watching the cameras that I have, I'm not seeing severe wind. It's not to say it's not happening though, right, friends? I mean, it will happen in a few spots. It doesn't necessarily mean it's happening everywhere. It will happen in a few spots when it wants to. But yeah, I haven't seen the most signal, at least on these cameras. Watching the trees and kind of the shake of the cameras, the bounce of it, and the sheets of the rain. So these go for 2 more minutes. Drifting south, though, at about 30 miles per hour. That's the most potent line of the storms, in my opinion. So this one will be in Maxwell any minute. Huxley at 9:53, and I think these times are pretty well spot on with what the last ones I gave you. Baxter 10:01, Bondurant at 10:16, Ankeny at 10:18. But that gust front's going to arrive a little bit earlier, and we have seen that gust front about 30, 35 miles per hour, and then the heart of these storms have seen a lot of 40 to 45. And there you see it, 36 in Marshalltown. That would be gust front related. 45 is the highest on the map at the Iowa State Research Farm. One little pocket of hail, I think, that could still be out there south of Fort Dodge, right here. That's about the only thing peaking on my radar software just off screen. I'll show it to you on here too. Okay, warnings are gone. So that's the only spot of hail, estimate up to 1 inch. You notice everything else has really collapsed, become wind dominant. Marshalltown is going to get rain with this. A decent punch of it, James, coming in for you here shortly. Probably some 40, 45 mile per hour winds as well. Just checking in with the Weather Service. The warnings are now expired. So I think we're hitting just below severe limits. If we see or get a report that it's jumping back upwards, we'll see another warning. And if you see another warning, that's going to be the reason for it. But so far the wind gusts coming in have been 40, 45. Did I just hear tones? I might have just heard tones. $33, $36, $45. I don't have any additional warnings. All right. All right, friends. So linear television, right? I got to prepare for my show. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you back on our standard loop that we run. And I'm going to keep the stream going. And if warranted, I'm gonna jump on and I'll let you know what's up. But at this point, we don't have any warnings, so that's the good news. Expect some 40, 45 mile per hour winds, I think, out of this line descending into the Des Moines Metro, probably arriving closer to 10:30 the way things are progressing. Maybe a little bit later because we're kind of right on that back edge that turns more northerly. But that's what we're going to call it for now, my friends. I'm going to let this loop run, and I'll probably push a few more posts in here as well to let you know my thoughts on things. So thanks for joining me here on the broadcast, and I appreciate your support. Consider liking, following my Chris Kubal Meteorologist page on Facebook, as well as hitting that subscribe button on YouTube. That really helps out the algorithms when you do that. Smash that like button as well. All right, friends, we will see you after the Monday Night Football game on Local 5. We'll see you.